In this episode of Mathematica from Scratch, what we're going to look at is some basic algebra. This is a really useful thing. Many of us have had to deal with the quadratic equation and solving it over and over again, and it's a really awkward and cumbersome equation. You can enter the quadratic formula in and get Mathematica to evaluate it, but you can also use the solve feature in Mathematica to just get to the answer directly. I'll also show you how to use the plot function to really check if your answer makes sense and if it's correct. So let's imagine we have an equation x squared plus 9 x minus 52 equals 0. So I'm just going to show you what that equation looks like. So we have x squared, I'll use the nice notation here, so x squared plus 9x minus 52. And if that's going to be equal to 0, I'm actually going to use a double equal sign to kind of set this equation equal to 0. Now, if we want to solve this, you just type solve, starting with a capital S. Okay? And we have to tell it what to solve for. So we want to tell it, solve this equation for x. Okay? So I put a comma and an x. I'm going to hit Shift-Enter, and there we go. That's how easy it is to use Mathematica to solve quadratic equations. Now, so it's giving us two answers. It's saying x is or one of the solutions is x is minus 13. Another solution is x is plus 4. We could check this, right? So if we have x plus 13 times x minus 4, this should actually give us the equation. Now, I'm going to have to expand that answer to write it out. And x squared plus 9x minus 52 is what we get there. So that's correct. Another way we can check if this is correct is just by plotting. So let's plot the function x squared plus 9x minus 52 and see where it equals 0. So x squared. Now, notice when I entered that in, something incorrect happened. It was like x squared plus 9x. It's all up in the exponent, so that's not correct. So once I get the x squared here, I'm going to just use a right arrow. That's going to move me down to the baseline here. So x squared plus 9x, looking good, minus 52. So I'm going to plot this in terms of x, let's say from minus 14 up to plus 5. So this should capture the region where the curve is going through 0. And if I hit Shift-Enter, there's our function. And you can see here that at x is equal to minus 13, our value of our function is 0. And at x is equal to plus 4, the value of the function is also equal to 0. So that's how we can use solve and plot together to find the roots of a quadratic equation. And there are more sophisticated equations that you can put in, and Mathematica does a really good job of finding those roots. I also wanted to show you how we can use Mathematica to solve a system of equations. So let's say we have 2x plus 4y is equal to 40, 7x minus 3y is equal to 89. Now, before we start solving this, we actually have to take a precautionary step. I've already been using the variable x, so I want to clear x so that I'm starting with a new version of x. I haven't already defined it or something like that. Now what I'm going to type is solve 2x plus 4y double equals sine 40. That's one of the equations. But I also want to solve the other equation simultaneously, so I'm going to use this and symbol. So I'm solving for one equation, and 7x minus 3y is equal to 89. So there it is. I'm going to ask it to solve it for x and y, and I'm going to hit Shift-Enter to evaluate. It gives us x is equal to 14, y is equal to 3, and if you plug those into these two simultaneous equations, you'll see that you're able to solve them both. Okay, I hope that helps, and I'll see you on the next episode.